Yo, what's going on? And welcome to some Umamusume Pretty Derby. Now, at first, I thought this game was kind of a joke. I didn't really think it was for me. I did see that it came out in the first few days, and I was like, yeah, that's probably not for me. But then I started to see some other people playing the game who I would have assumed the game was also not for them. And so that got me to check it out a little bit, and I was like, okay, it looks interesting. I'll give it a try. I do like gacha games and anime games. Obviously, I played a lot of Genshin in the past. I played like Honkai Star Rail and some various other ones. But yeah, when I gave this game a try, I realized that it's actually really fun. I guess that's the only way to put it. Like, it's not really what I expected. So the game is you're training horses for races, except all of the horses are anime girls, which seems ridiculous. Apparently, it's like based off of an anime as well, which I haven't seen at all. But the premise is funny, and the gameplay is actually really fun, and it's all wrapped up in the style of a gacha game. So today we're gonna go through like a run to give you an idea of what actually goes on in this game. Because I think the strong point of the game, at least for me, is the gameplay. It's fun in a way, like, I didn't expect it to be like a roguelike, which is weird. You might look at this game and be like, how the heck is this a roguelike? We'll explain that. So the core gameplay here is that you do careers. Um, and in careers, right now, there's only one scenario, which is the URA finale. Um, but each horse has different goals within the career that you have to accomplish. So all of the separate horses essentially have different careers that you're doing. Um, and also, there is an event going on right now, this brand new Friends that just came out a few days ago. So I've already made a little bit of progress on that, but the reason to keep doing runs is to make progress in the event, as well as you're constantly trying to get better and better horses because it will help you progress further and further. Um, so here you can see kind of the list of horses that I have at the moment. I only have 15 of them, which is okay, but there's like 30 I think right now, so I don't have them all, but I'm working on it. And today I think we're gonna do Sakura Bakushin O, just as like a starter character. I think she was the first horse that I won with. Her campaign is pretty easy, so I think it'll be like a good example to kind of talk about. And so first you start by picking your horse. You can only pick from horses that you have, and you can see that they have different like star ratings. As you get more of them, which is like the gacha component, you can rank them up and make them better. You can see probably here that Sakura has all G pluses, whereas someone like Suzuka has a few Fs in there, so her stats are a little bit better at the base. As you rank up their stars, their base stats get slightly better as well. So anyways, we're going to go ahead. Before I start a campaign, because I like to switch in between all of the different horses, I don't usually do two of the same one in a row. So I need to keep track of like what the horse is going to be doing so I can kind of make a plan in my head. So here you could see a list of all the races they're going to do. Sakura is pretty easy because most of her races are either sprints or miles. You can see right here, this is a sprint. The previous one was a mile. So they're all pretty short races, which means that you need less stats, like less stamina, because stamina is the thing that lets you run further races. And you could pretty much click on every single race and see what the main races she has to run are. Now, these are not all the races in the game. She can run other races, but these are the ones that she has to do in her campaign, otherwise you fail. And the game will essentially force you to do them when they come up, otherwise you lose the campaign. So anyways, we go with that, and then I like to look at their details. Here you can see what they're good at. Anything that's A means they're proficient at it. So the track type, dirt is not really that relevant right now. There's only like a few horses that can run dirt. And if you're using a horse that mainly only uses turf, none of the races in your campaign are going to be dirt anyway, so you don't have to worry about dirt. But yeah, so you got turf, And then you have a style of run, or a distance of running. So sprint is obviously going to be the shortest. Then you have a mile. Then you have medium. Then you have long. She's not going to have any medium or longs, and she is very good at sprints, but is pretty good at mile. So if we can find something to buff her mile up to A, so she's at least proficient at it, that would be useful. And then you also have styles of running. So there's front runner, a horse that wants to stay in the front the entire race and then finish in first, hopefully. A pace chaser is someone who stays behind the front runners and essentially tries to pass at the very end. A late, what, I can't remember, it's called late because it's end closer, late something, I can't remember, late something. But they stay even further back behind the pace chasers, and they essentially speed up and try and pass the pace chasers before the pace chasers try and pass the front runners. And then same with the end closers, they're even further back. They tend to sit all the way at the back, and then they start sprinting even earlier than the late horses. So that's just kind of what we're looking at there. So we're probably going to be front or pace. If a horse has front affinity, I usually just like to go front because it's the easiest. Pace is kind of the hardest because it requires the most stamina, but I feel like the most goes wrong when you go late or end, because there are other racers on the turf and they can block you from passing them. So the further back you are, the harder it can be to win sometimes, especially if you get like boxed in or something. And then here we got the growth rates, which are just important to know before you go into a campaign. She has 20% extra speed, and then 10% extra wit, and then 0% modifiers to stamina, power, and guts. Guts is pretty much useless in the game right now, so I wouldn't worry about that one. But anyways, let's move on now that we know like that our racer is only going to run short races, and we know that she has really good speed affinity. We can move on to the next part, which is choosing our legacies here. So, with the legacies, you get to pick 2 legacies, and they inspire your racer, so they make their stats better and they make their affinities better. So, I have my other horses that I've already trained up here, and you can see the ones with carrots next to them are the ones that I kind of favorited as good legacy horses. The problem is my legacy horses are probably more long distance runners. So let's try and find one that's going to go well. You can see that here, if I were to use this legacy horse, I would get 12 speed, 21 stamina, and 12 power. And it would also raise her affinity for long races. Now let's see if we could find one. We would like to get mile to A, preferably, because we know she has to run some miles. And she doesn't have to run any longer races, so we're not worried about that at all. Well, let's just start clicking on people, see if we can find anyone that gives her a mile. Okay, here. Suzuka, the one that we talked about earlier, does give a mile upgrade. So you could kind of long click on a character. And this is a character that you finished a run with. It doesn't necessarily mean you won. It just means you finished a run. So even if you lose, it saves the character as a legacy character. This obviously was a win, and I've won with every single character that I have currently. But sometimes I lose, just not as much anymore. As you kind of get more knowledge and get better at the game, it becomes a lot easier to win, but then you're trying to push the limits of how good you can actually make a horse. So you can see this one here is a B+ rating, and we can look at their inspirations. So it's going to give extra stamina, extra speed, a little bit extra stamina, but here's the important part. We're just trying to get a little bit of mile proficiency. So the fact that she has a mile spark here, they're called sparks as the inspirations. And then for some reason, like, turf is really good because we're only going to be running turf, so hopefully we could upgrade our turf. But how this works is at the beginning of a campaign, you can't upgrade past A until like a little bit later on. But there is S. And since we're only going to be running on turf, ideally if we could get S turf, that would be great. For some reason though, I've been running like these turf sparks and they very rarely go off. So I'm not really sure why, but they are very good if you can actually get them to go off. So here we're going to pick Suzuka just because it's going to give us the mile proficiency that we need. And then stamina is not really as important on this character because, again, we're just running short races. We do want a lot of speed, but we'll try and fix that with our other legacy because this one, my legacies are worse. So you could pick 2 of your legacies, or you can include 1 guest, which is someone on your friends list. And so generally, you just want to add people that are like better than you or have better horses than you, and it will help you make your own horses better. So here we're going to look for, I'm pretty sure I should have a 9 speed horse. So I guess we could just start clicking on them. Here, okay, this one. So we can see here, has 3 speed, 3 speed, 3 speed. That adds up to 9 speed, which is the most you could get in a single stat at the beginning. And again, because we really only care about speed on this character, that's what we're looking for. We got a small turf chance here. Late surgery we don't care about. Late surgery we don't care about. The only other thing, Triumphant Pulse is not really good for Sakura, so that's kind of irrelevant. But the speed is what we're looking for here. And the speed is not just at the beginning of the campaign. So the speed right now, just straight off the bat, it's going to give us 63 extra speed, right? Plus the 12 from my horse. So we're getting up to 162. 1200 is the max. So it is a good portion, but throughout the campaign, you'll get more inspirations. So the ones that you pick will inspire you again. So we'll probably end up getting more speed as we go from this legacy horse here. So anyways, we'll go ahead and pick that one. When you pick a horse from someone on your friends list, it does cost you a little bit of currency, but usually you get more currency from the run than you spend. So it's not a huge deal. And if your friends have better horses than you, then it's just a benefit to use their horses anyways. So anyways, now we're past the legacy portion. We move on to the support card portion. Another gacha aspect where you had to get these cards from pulling for them. And we're probably going to have to make a separate deck for Sakura because I don't have one right now. So we'll start from scratch just to show you kind of how it works. As far as you could again pick from your friends list. And this is the best card in the game. And we need speed cards for Sakura because that's the stat that she cares about. So we're just going to go ahead and start with that one. Boom. Oh, also, because there's an event going on right now, you can see that this card gives a bonus to how much event XP you're getting. So ideally, you pick some cards that give you more event XP while there's an event going. If not, you're just picking your best cards. So here, we're looking at my cards now. You can see any of these that have like the red mean they're event cards. So first one that I want is not going to be an event card. And you can see that I also have this card that we currently picked from my friend. But you can't use 2 of the same cards, so I can't use my version as well. And I might as well use my friend's because theirs is better. Where is it? I'm looking for a specific card. I guess I could sort, but I must have missed it. Oh, this one. Okay, this card I really like. And it's really good. It's not a high rarity card. You can see it's an SR as opposed to an SSR, but it's really easy for you to upgrade lower rarity cards. I don't quite have it maxed out yet. But this card's just really good, and we'll talk about it in the campaign, why this card is good. But so essentially what we're picking right now is friends that are going to help you throughout the career. So we currently have 2 speed cards. And if you remember at the beginning, we looked at Sakura's affinities. She has 20% extra speed. So we probably want 1 more speed card. And what are we looking at? Let's just sort by speed, I think. Really quick, we'll sort by only speed so we can look at what I have upgraded here. This one, Twin Turbo, has an event bonus, so we're probably just going to end up going with that one. So now we have 3 speed cards, and now we want to, I guess, work on our other stats. Usually, Sakura doesn't really need any stamina, but because one of the event cards that I happen to get is a stamina card, I'm just going to run it because it gives me a huge bonus to how much event XP we're getting. This is kind of irrelevant, but anyways, it's there for now. And it's a card that I have leveled up. So now we're looking for... We don't really need more stamina. We don't really need strength. We don't really need... Well, it's power, not strength. And we don't really need guts. So we're probably just looking to pick some wit cards right now. So let's swap it over to Wit. And we're just going to pick the event cards that I have. So this one and this one. We're just kind of maxing out on Wit. Like I said earlier, Sakura's career is kind of easy. So we're really just trying to get as much event XP as we can. Hopefully win, and maybe we can create a better Sakura than I've done in the past. So now that we have this, since I like to run like different horses every single time, sometimes it can be confusing to remember all their events and what the events actually do. So there is a tool that I'll go ahead and switch over real quick just to show it. It's on a website called GameTora. And you can use this tool to put in the racer that you're going to go with. So we have Sakura here. You could pick any of them. And then you just pick the cards that you're using. So, and also you pick the scenario, but there's only one scenario at the moment. What we're doing twin turbo. Oh, that's two twin turbos. Didn't mean to click that. We have Sweep Tosho. I already had that one. So twin turbo, Sweep Tosho. Then we had Satano Diamond, which is here. And then we have Nice Nature. We have the support Kita-san Black. And then what's the other one? It's like this one right here. What are you called? It's like Ikuno something? Ikuno Dictus, of course. Why didn't I remember that? Anyways, there it is. So there, now we have the whole deck and racer chosen, just in case you could click on each of the separate things and it shows what events these things have. Because like some of the things are not obvious, and so you'll get different choices, and then you'll have to try and pick the best thing for them. A lot of them I know, but it's just nice to have this in the background, especially if you're running a different horse every single time, because each horse has different events. So anyways, let's go back to the game. And we'll get started. We'll kind of show how that works in the future if we need it. And then here it just shows like overview of everything that you're picking. So we got the 2 legacy horses. We got our whole deck. This is how much event bonus XP we're getting. So 133%. And then we'll just go ahead and start. So now's the part of the game that I actually think is really fun, which is the career, which is set up as a roguelike. There is a whole story associated to it. If you want to read the story, you can. Honestly, it's not that relevant to the gameplay, so it's more of a personal thing. So we're definitely not going to read the story for you right now. I have read like some of the stories, but not all of them. So I like to go just shorten events. Like once you've already done the person's story, I like to go shorten all events, and then I just turn skip up to 2, and it goes through all the dialogue super fast for you. So you could focus on the actual decision making and less about the story that's going on, because you can see there's a lot of dialogue here, right? Like that's a lot, and all it did is give us our starting skill points. So now we're actually in a run, and it's pretty simple from here. You are training for races. Now you can see we can't race right now because in 11 turns we got a race coming up. That is our first race, so we can't do anything except get ready for that race right now. So our options are training, rest, recreation, and skills. Skills, we just use our skill points to buy skills. We don't have enough for that right now. We'll get those as we go. And now is where the strategy starts to come in. Rest, we obviously don't want to rest while we have full energy here. I think this bar is exactly 100, but you can manipulate it a little bit with events. And then here we also have our mood, which mood, as you can see, increases the results from training, and it increases your attributes while racing. So it's really good to get your mood higher. Now, what I like to do at the beginning of a campaign is usually I look at the training stuff, and you can see here we got speed, stamina, power, guts, wit, all the stats right here. And then like speed will give you a little bit of power. But you can see that our support cards are appearing up here, the ones that we picked earlier. And we can look through everything and see like this one has 2 of our support cards under power. And these have our speed support cards under speed and stamina. What you want to do is you can see this bar under them. That's your friendship level with them. So you want to try and get the friendship up with them because it will benefit you later. So early on in the game, a lot of times it's building up the friendship. You can see here that our best thing is only 2 people. So when I see only 2 people early game, I like to just go recreation to immediately get your mood up. You can see we boosted our mood up to great. And now we already have a random event happening. So this is where, like, you might not know. She gives the answer I expected, the answer I feared, and so now you have to respond. If you're paying attention, maybe you could guess what these are gonna do. Her name is Bakshin, so full speed ahead, but watch your stamina. You need to consider your timing when you Bakshin. Her whole thing is that, like, the act of Bakshin is, like, I don't know, like, just giving it your all or something. I don't know. Her campaign is kind of more of a joke. But anyways, so if you don't know what these do, because it's not exactly obvious, you could go over to the tool here, and we saw that in the top left, it said that the event was named Bakshining with a classmate. So we just look for that one, and it's right here. That you could click on it and you could see what the possible options are. Top option could give you 5 power, 5 guts. Bottom option could give you 5 speed, 5 wisdom. So I think we want 5 speed, 5 wisdom. So we're going to go ahead and do that with the bottom option here. And then that's kind of how you just use the tool. You just click on whatever thing is relevant. We'll show maybe when a support card comes up that you can switch it to support cards. But anyways, now we have great mood. So we can focus more on our actual training because the training is now 20% more effective, right? So we have a great mood. So we would really like to probably get friendship up. So the more people who are on a node, the more people you're increasing friendship with, right? But I did say at the beginning that we really only need speed. So there is something to be said for just going speed. But in this case, Guts is usually useless, so I wouldn't worry about that one that much. If you can avoid Guts, I would. I think we're just going to go with the Power, because it has 2 people on it. And then we got another random event. You can see support card, Kita-san Black, Chasing Brilliance event. It increased our mood, but our mood is already great, so it didn't do anything. And then we got Speed, Power, Wit, and some friendship with that card as well. And that card is, like, the best card in the game, and you'll probably see as we get more events. It's this card right here. As we get more events with her, like, just getting mood up just randomly for free is kind of crazy. So that's just one of the things that makes her really good. But here you can see we got 2 on speed, 2 on stamina, and that's pretty much it. So speed is our best choice. The other thing that's going to happen is the more you do a specific kind of training, you're going to level them up, right? So you can see here, they're all green and they're all level 1. But after we do, I think it's 5 of in this specific one, it will level up to level 2, which just makes it better. So since we want speed, if speed is if speed and stamina both have 2 people on it, I'm gonna go with the speed because the speed helps me more, and then I get closer to leveling up the actual speed node. So here we have another random event, but I actually know this random event. If you click the top option, you could possibly increase because you can see it's got 1 out of 3. It's like a chain event that happens. If you pick the top option, you have like a 50% chance to continue the event. But honestly, this event doesn't really amount to anything. So I can just click on the bottom button here and essentially cash out the event. It ends the event, but it just gives me 20 energy back, which energy is how we train. So energy is one of the most important things. If you want your cards to kind of help you manage your energy, because if you're spending a turn resting, then that's a turn that you're not training, right? So you can see here we've done 3 turns so far, but let's try and pick up the pace a little bit because the campaigns are 3 years long, which is a total of, what is that, 72 turns? So we got quite a few turns to get through. Here everything has 1. Sometimes I would go wit here, but I really want to level up the friendship with the speed cards, because the speed cards are the ones that are going to make speed training better. And also an exclamation mark means that we'll probably get a skill hint out of it. So I guess we'll show this one off, because I was probably going to do it anyways. She gave us After School Stroll, which is... It now adds it to this and discounts it, but it's a skill that we can't even use, so I wouldn't worry about that one. You also gotta learn, like, what skills are actually useful to you and where you get them, but this game is surprisingly complicated, which is great, but a little bit overwhelming at first, I think. So here, the best node is Wit. You can also see that under Speed, the Director has now been added to the list of people that you can technically train with. And you do want to make sure that you're doing some training on Director nodes, because that's going to help you out later on. But it doesn't have to be every single turn. We just need to get her essentially to here so her bar turns green, because that's going to have us level up our ultimate later on. But right now, this is by far the best node. It has 2 speed cards on it. And so if you're also looking at the energy bar, you could see that everything costs a little bit different amounts of energy. Usually speed costs about the most at around 25. I think it matters like how much it's leveled up and such to decide how much it costs. But everything here costs something. Like stamina probably only costs like 20. And then if you go over to wit, you can see the bar actually goes up. If you do a wit training, you actually get energy back. In this case, only 5 energy. But it's essentially like a free turn of training, right? Because we get the friendship that we want, but we don't lose energy, and we in fact get some energy back. And you can see that wit also gives a little bit of speed. And wit, the thing that it's used for is activating your skills during races, and also wit training gives you more skill points than the other ones. So in this case, wit is by far our best, because we're essentially just getting an extra turn of training in by doing this one. Ooh, we got another big wit. So I think we're just gonna do wit again, because that's got the director and 2 speed cards on it, so that seems like an easy pick. So now as we approach races, we are gonna want to try and make sure we get our stats to like certain amounts that are actually relevant. So here we have nothing on wit. Everything's on power, huh? So we're probably gonna go power. Our speed is probably already good enough to win the first race. So I think we're just going power for more friendship. You could see that Kita-san Black is already at green friendship. You want to get them to orange friendship. Except for the director, you just want green for her. But orange friendship makes it so then you can get friendship training, which makes the training stronger. So that's why we're focusing on our speed cards mainly, because those are the ones in the stat that we want. So here we'll do power, get us more, and you can see that she's getting closer and closer to orange. So here we have another event. I have no idea what this event gives, so we're going to go ahead and run over to the tool. What was the event called? It's called the Bakushin Book. Right here. You can see we could either get 10 wisdom or 10 stamina. Both is not super relevant, but we do need a little bit of stamina, so I think I'm just going to pick the stamina here, honestly. And you can see, like, some keywords in the options will give it away, but it's not 100%. Like, the top one said study, so I was pretty sure that it was going to give wit. But the bottom one, I didn't really know what it was going to give. So, here, now, somehow we've made it this far without this being the case. But we're now below 50% energy. Once you get below 50% energy, your training starts to have a chance to fail. And training failing is bad. Training failing is very, very bad. Because not only do you not get the points for training, you also get injured. And usually you lose energy, and you lose mood. And with an injury, you gotta go to the infirmary. So it can set you back like 3 turns to fail a training. Now this is 5%. Usually the rule that I go with is as long as it's not above 10%, you could probably go for it. I have failed a 1% before, so that you could fail anything. And I've also succeeded on like a 30% failure. Obviously 30% is still in your favor, but you know, if you fail it, like the cost is too much, right? Like you might lose the run off of that. So you got to be careful, and each thing is going to have different failure rates based on how much stamina they cost. So speed costs the most stamina, or not stamina, energy. So it has a 6%, 4%, 5%, 7%, and then usually wit has the least fail rating because it gives you energy back. But wit can fail once you get low enough. It'll start to actually have a fail chance. So when you start to get to these fail chances, you can look at all the nodes and be like, is any node good enough for me to risk it? In this case, I kind of think the power node is good enough for me to risk it. Otherwise, I could click rest here. And rest is going to give energy back, but it's going to be a random amount of energy. It's either going to be 30, 50, or 70. You can see we're at about 50, so ideally we would get the 70 or the 50 back to get to full. But if you get 30, there is a chance that you could have some bad outcomes, so you gotta be a little bit careful. But like I said, I think the power one is good enough. So I'm gonna go ahead, risk the 5%, and we're probably just gonna win. Okay, we did succeed. And whenever you train when the director's around, you do get skill points for it. So that's also important to remember if you need more skill points. So now we got like 25 or less energy, right? So our failure chances are really high. We got 44%. And you can see now wit even has an 8% failure chance. This is actually a really good wit training because of how many people are on it. But the problem is even after we do this one, we're still going to have a fail chance, right? Because we're going from like 25 to 30 energy. So we're probably going to need to rest next turn. So it's kind of up in the air whether you gamble on this one. I would not. So I'm going to go ahead and click rest, and we'll show what happens when you rest. So we got all refreshed, which should be a 50 energy back, and there's usually no negatives for all refreshed. And then we just had a random event happen from one of our cards, which if you scroll, you can see like how much dialogue there is. If you want to listen to the dialogue, you're welcome to do so, but after you've played through it, it's not really relevant anymore. You can see that our Satono Diamond here had a random event trigger, and all this dialogue happened, but the event ended up giving us energy and some stats, right? So great. Fantastic. So now we're 2 turns away from our starter race. So we'll go ahead and look at our trainings. That power training already looks pretty good. I think we gotta hit this power training. And we do have another exclamation point that could give us a skill here on Kita-san Black. And it also could maybe get one of them to orange. We got extra tank. I don't think that does anything for Sakura. Paying it forward. Okay, this is a really good event. I usually go the bottom one, but both of the options are fantastic. So here we'll show how to use the tool for when you have a card. So first we've been on the racer. Now you can see my cursor. We've been on the racer every single time, but we have all the other options here that we picked. So we go over to the Kita-san Black one, and then it shows all of her events. And this one event is called Paying It Forward. So we go ahead and click on Paying It Forward. Top one gives 10 energy plus 1 mood. Now, if you remember, we're already at max mood, so that does nothing. So we'd only be getting the 10 energy. Or we could get 5 or 10 speed and a hint for straightaway adept, and it's either a +1 hint or a +3 hint. The hint level just means how much it's discounted. In this case, we're choosing between 10 energy and 5 to 10 speed. Straightaway adept is okay, but not fantastic. So we'll go ahead, go back here. What am I gonna do? I don't know. It's actually really close. I think I want the energy. Even though we're wasting the mood, I'm gonna take the energy. Okay, so now you can see that our training thing not only has an exclamation point, which means that there's someone who has a skill for us, but it's also rainbow. So that means we've now made it to the point where someone is doing friendship training. And you can see that the friendship training is under speed because now Kita-san Black has reached orange friendship. So now she has the chance to do friendship training. It's not guaranteed. It's just a chance. This node is great because it has friendship training. It also is, she's going to give us a skill or some stats. I think this can also give stats sometimes. And then we also have our other really good speed card is also going to get to orange if we pick that one. So that's probably what we're going to pick. But you can always look at the other ones just to check. This node is pretty good as well because it has one of the speed. It has the director. That node kind of sucks. That node sucks. And that node sucks. So it's really between these two. But I think the speed, you can see that we're starting to get like higher numbers of speed from the friendship training and stuff. And we haven't even leveled up the speed one. We've actually leveled up the power one because it just so happened that there were a few good times to pick it. But right before our debut race here, we got one turn left. We're going to go ahead and pick speed. We also get corner recovery, which is a really good skill. It's the precursor to the best skill in the game, but we likely won't get the best skill in the game. We also don't really need it because it's not relevant to shorter races as much, but we'll probably get corner recovery. So now we have another thing, another event for Sakura. Practice is more valuable than its dance lesson. I can't remember what dance lesson does, so I'm going to go ahead and use the tool. I'll probably just use it off screen, just because it's faster. We could either get Guts or Wisdom. Like I said, Guts doesn't really do anything, so we're going to go with Wisdom. Again, I don't know why... It must be called Wisdom in Japanese, but they changed it to Wit for the global version. I don't know why they didn't just keep it as Wisdom, but it doesn't really matter because the words both start with W and I, so it's pretty close. But anyway, so now we have our first race. Usually when I'm doing the races, because I'm more interested in the optimizing of the run and stuff, I don't usually watch the races, but I think for the sake of the video, we will watch the races. Now here we can see the race. It tells us how long the race is. It tells us that it's a sprint. It tells us that we're going to be running in a circle around the right, like right clockwise, I guess, which is relevant to some skills. That's why they give you all this information. Also tells you that we're in summer. It tells you that it's cloudy. It tells you that the ground is firm. That's all relevant to like certain skills. Outer, I don't remember exactly what outer means. I don't know if it means that you're running on the outer, like the outer, because there's gates that the horses start out of. I don't know if it means that you're on the outer gate or you're on like the outer track. I don't really know exactly what that means. But anyways, there's also a prediction button here where it kind of shows you how good your stats are compared to the other racers. Double circle is the best. So double circle in pretty much everything means that we're almost certainly going to win. And then we have single circle and guts, but like I've been saying, guts is not really important. After, like if we keep going down, it goes double circle, single circle, then it goes filled in triangle, and then it goes empty triangle. And those are the 4 ratings. And if below that is an X. If it's an X, then it means you do not meet the stat requirements for this race in that stat. Sometimes that matters, sometimes it doesn't. It kind of just depends on the race and if you have anything to supplement it. Because like stamina, our stamina is obviously good here, but if our stamina was not good enough, we do have skills like corner recovery, which give us more endurance, which is stamina, over the course of the race. You can supplement having low stamina with skills. In this case, we're going to be doing front runner probably the entire race. We have mostly sprints, so a skill like this that works in sprints is decent, but we are going to have some miles, which means that skill will be useless. The view from the lead is mine is a really good front runner skill, which is coming from our... We can actually look over here. It's coming from our Suzuka here, because she gives the view from the lead is mine, which is her special ability. Sakura's special ability is this one, which actually, it gets better the higher stars she has, but since I only have her at 1 stars, this is what it is. Class rep plus speed equals Bakushin. So moderately increased velocity with Bakushin power when engaged in challenge towards the front in the second half of the race. It's kind of very specific, right? A front runner is really not going to challenge that many people except for another front runner or if a pace chaser catches up to them. But the pace chasers are not going to catch up to you until, like, the late race. So is this going to be relevant? I don't know. This skill is just much better. Slightly increased velocity when in the lead by a fair margin on the final straight. So this is just going to proc in the end if you're in the lead. And front runners are very often in the lead in the final straight. Whether or not they win, they could still get passed after that, but this skill is just better. Corner recovery, I might just get it right now because it's already 30% off, and this will probably mean that we don't really need stamina the entire campaign, except for like the few points of stamina we get here and there from events and stuff. So I might just grab corner recovery. To win this race, as you saw, our stats were already perfectly fine. So in theory, I don't really need to spend my skill points here, but I'm going to want this for every single race anyways. I probably am going to want this for every single race. Actually, well, let's check, because if we're running only sprints for a while, because this one's a sprint, this one's a sprint, this one's a mile, and then we're back to sprints. So it's literally going to be, it's going to be maybe like a half a year before we run a mile. Pretty much like this is where you're in the planning phase, right? Like, am I going to be able to get this skill before, like this skill and this skill before we run a mile? We currently have 162 points, and this would cost all of our points. I think, like, this is going to help us more in the sprints. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one, and hopefully we'll get corner recovery before we get to the mile. Even if we don't, I think we'll probably end up being fine. But anyways, let's go ahead and actually watch a race. So this is the debut race, though, so we're almost guaranteed to win. But here you could see we're the #1 favorite. #1 favorite, I believe, is based on how many fans you have. And then the circles are based on your stats. So this is, the circles in order are speed, stamina, power, just like right here. They don't include guts and wit in this rating right here. But this is like expert opinion, like how good are your stats for the race. This is like how much do the fans support you compared to the other people in the race. For your debut race, you're usually going to be #1. And then here you can look at your skills if you want to remember how they activate and stuff like that. You also have your aptitudes for this race. We have all A's. You have your mood, which again, mood is important because great mood increases all of your stats for the race by 4%. So right now it's small, but later on that's going to be big. And then here we have our strategy. It's starting her on Pace Chaser. We're probably just going to do Front Runner for the whole thing. Here you can kind of see like a good explanation of how it works, right? So the Front Runner is off in front. The blue is where the late racer starts to speed up. The final straight is where, or no, the end closer starts to speed up in the late racer. And you can see they start to speed up at different times and they finish. And this is kind of showing you when they speed up to catch up to the front runners. But we're going to run front runner. And also there's a slightly hidden thing, but each style of running requires different amounts of stamina for the race. Front runner is kind of like average because you're kind of just like running at almost your fastest for the whole race. Pace Chaser actually requires the most stamina because you're trying to keep up with the front runners and then trying to pass them at the very end by like putting in even more effort. So this one requires the most stamina, and then late, I believe, requires the least stamina. It's either late or end closer that require the least stamina, because you're kind of like going pretty slowly and then running all out near the end. I think end closer requires more because you're super far back and you have to start sprinting a lot earlier. But that's kind of like an explanation what these choices even mean. So anyways, here you could either press view results and just kind of skip the race and it just tells you how you did, or you can watch the race. Like I said, for this, we're probably going to watch the races. And the races are kind of fun to watch. So here you could just, again, see what all the other racers in it are. Sakura is one of the main characters. None of these others are a main character. So, also, if I didn't mention it, all of the horses are based off of real horses. I don't know if the non-main characters are based off of real horses or not. But, like, all the main characters are. And these are all just kind of side NPC characters. So at the beginning of the race, it has, like, the little thing that shows what the race is. Usually I skip this, and this shows them all lining up. And it shows you, like, who the top 2 favorites are, plus you. So it shows number 3 and number 2. And then it shows us as number 1. Usually I skip this part too, but I'll just show it right now. But then what can actually be interesting is watching the actual race here, which starts now. So you can see that there's an arrow above your head. Here we got the how long the race is going to be start to finish, how far we are in the race, and then you got everyone's position right here, and then you can watch the camera and stuff down here. And so this is going to tell you when your skills and stuff go off. You could kind of see, like, what happened in the race, if something went wrong, why it went wrong. And there's also RNG within the races, so just because you won a race once doesn't mean you'll win it again. But if your stats are good enough, then you'll probably win it, like, every time, right? So you can see here that we kind of never got past, then we proc the view from the lead is mine, and we just took off even further. None of them were ever able to catch us, but they're also all NPC horses, right? So I'll show the end here, but I'll probably skip this in the future. This shows, like, who won. Number 5 won, which I believe is us. And they were 3.5 lengths ahead of the next horse. So here it'll show the scoreboard. So yeah, we were number 5. We were the number 1 favorite. That's how fast we finished the race. We were a front runner. And then here you could see the person who got second was a pace chaser. They were the number 8 favorite, and they were 3.5 lengths behind, which is, like, how long the horse, like, the length of a horse. And then there's other things like neck. They were the neck length behind this person, and head length, nose length. I think nose is the shortest. You got 2 lengths, 3/4 length. And then here's another mechanic in the game that you do sometimes have to watch out for, which is the number of fans that you have. So you could see here we won our first race. We just had to get first place in our debut or maiden race to get to beginner rank. But we also got 1,000 fans from it. And here you can see kind of the breakpoints for each of these. Legend is kind of nice to get to in a campaign, but it can be a little bit difficult on specific racers to get to Legend. I don't know if we're going to get to Legend in this run because I haven't done a Sakura run in a while. And I don't remember what races are good for her to actually get to Legend. Also, another funny part about this game that we're not going to do today is when you win races for the first time, you get concerts for it because they're also idols. So you get to watch concerts where the winner is like the front and then second and third are on the sides and they do a concert. And then sometimes you have like the background dancers as the other people who are in the race. We're not going to do that because of possible like copyright and stuff. but that is something that's in the game. Usually I don't watch them anymore. I have seen, I think, most of them. But yeah, there's our first race. We get some rewards for winning the race. We also get skill points. And now you can see what our next goal is, which is a G2 race, and we got to place in the top 5 of it. So you don't have to win every single race, but some of the races you have to win. Here we got another event, which just gave us some stats, and Professor of Curvature, which is actually a really good skill. We'll switch it back to log just so you can see what just happened. But yeah, so in here you could see, based on the races, how many fans you need to have to do the race, which these are fairly low amounts. It's likely we'll get to them without having to do any extra races. But you can also see about the races. Where is it? This is a G2 race. So the races go, does it say what the make debut is? I think it's just like a debut race. It has its own classification. But now we can go to the race menu. There's nothing on the first day, but we have OP races, which are kind of the lowest rank of a race. And these are the ones that if you need an easy win to get some more fans, those are the ones you're going to do, but generally you avoid them. And then we got G3 races, which is the next lowest rank. And you can see that G3 races actually have trophies associated with them. This is another whole mechanic in the game where you want to try and get all the trophies. As you can see, I've never gotten the trophy for this race because usually I don't run on day 2. But we might just get the trophy for this race. Because they're like, you do want them all in your collection, not in a single career, but like outside of the career, there are benefits to having more trophies. So maybe we'll do that one. Do we have any higher level races? I guess it probably doesn't show right now because we're kind of low rank. But so the next race we have coming up is G2, which is above G3. And then that's another G2. That's a G3. There's G1. Then we get to G1 races. And I think, is G1 the highest? Yeah, I think G1 is everything at the highest level is G1. So that kind of, the rank of the race kind of tells you how difficult the opponents are going to be in the race. So you can see that the opening, oh, I clicked multiple times. The opening races are probably not going to have any main characters in it, whereas the G3s might start to have some main characters, and then G2s are going to have more, and then by the time you're getting to like G1s, almost everyone's going to be a main character in it. So it just makes the races harder to win. But anyways, now we have 8 turns, and now we can actually see what part of the year it is. In the beginning of the game, you can't see what part of the year it is, but this is a little bit important to keep track of, because there's certain things that happen at certain parts in the year. So it starts to become like a knowledge check, like how much do you actually know about the game. We currently have 8 turns. We're early July, so 1 turn is half a month. So after this turn will be late July, and then will be early August, late August. So like that. Which is why there's 24 turns in a year, and I said it was 72 turns total earlier. It's about 3 years, I think. It might exactly be 3 years. But anyways, now that we're past the debut race, now we go back to our training for the next race, and we might run some extra races in between. Like I said, that one where I don't have the trophy yet, we might just run that one for fun. But let's look and see if there's anything good for us. For some reason, the power, they're really wanting me to do these power trainings, even though power's not that good for me. I actually might skip this. It looks good, but so the stuff you got to look out for is once we're already orange with someone, it really doesn't matter to get their friendship up anymore, because they can already do friendship training. So say like this Sweep Tosho appeared in speed, there's a chance that she could have friendship training, but she doesn't always appear in speed. The good thing about Kita-san Black is she has a higher rate of appearing in speed, right? And certain cards do certain things. That's one thing that she does, is she has, I think it's called specialty priority, increases the frequency at which the character participates in their preferred training type. So that's like a stat that she has that's really good. So it's more likely she'll be in speed. And we already have her friendship maxed out. So it's more likely we'll get friendship trainings in speed with her, because she can only do friendship trainings in the stat that she's for. So the only thing good here is the director training, which is not good enough. I'm probably looking to just do speed and get twin turbo up. And then extra training is actually the same for everyone. It's either spend 5 energy and get 5 of a random stat, or get 5 energy back. Pretty much my rule is always take the energy back, because you could probably make better decisions with the energy than the random stat up, right? Like, I could probably use that energy more efficiently than a random number generator can. So, I did say we were probably going to run today. We're kind of in the zone where we need to rest. So it's not the greatest situation, but I do kind of want to get this trophy, because, like, how often am I ever going to run on day 1? Almost never. And also, it's a sprint. There's not that many sprinters in the game, so I'm going to take this chance to just run it. And you can see that our guts is kind of low, but guts is not a relevant stat, so we're going to ignore them telling us that our guts is low. We're just going to go ahead and run it. Oh, because I've never done the race before, we actually have to watch it. But there is ways to skip. So you can see we're still #1 favorite. We just have a regular circle on stamina, but we should be perfectly fine here. And like I said, G3 race should have some better competitors in it, so I can kind of maybe point them out. Do we have anyone? NPC, 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 NPC. Here. Narita Bryan is a main character, and Maru Zensky is a main character. This is an NPC, and then King Halo is a main character. So we got 3 main characters here, but none of them are rated high enough to actually beat me. So you have to look at a career as the other horses are also getting better as they go, because they're also in a quote-unquote career, right? So early on in my career, these other horses are also not amazing yet, right? So even though these are main characters, they're still early on in their careers as well. So they're still getting better. So right now, my horse is rated higher. And on side races like this, I'm just going to go ahead and skip everything. Once the race actually starts, you can skip to the end of the race, and you can just watch the end if you want. Or you could even skip again. It is kind of close. Maru Zensky is keeping up with me. But I think the view from the lead will make it so she can't catch up to us. So yeah, you can see it was kind of close because it was a G3 race pretty early on with some main characters in there. So yeah, here we got a new trophy. You can see how many of the G3 trophies I have. I have 21 out of 69. There's a lot of G3 trophies, and generally I don't do that many G3 races because they're not really worth that much, which is why I have the least of them. I honestly have more percentage-wise of the other trophies, G2 and G1, because I do those races more often because they're worth more. But you do also get carrots, which is like the gacha material for winning new races, so it is kind of preferable to do them every once in a while. But sometimes you can mess up your run by doing lame races a lot, so we probably won't do too many. If I could get like 1 new race in a run, then I kind of accept that as pretty decent. So there you could see we got a random thing for doing that race where we got energy down. We did get mood up, but it didn't do anything for us, and we got some speed and skill points. We also got 500 fans and a lot of friendship with the reporter. The reporter is a new person who just recently got added, like in the career, to now be a training partner. You could get your friendship up with her, and she does something slightly different from the director, but she's not as important to actually raise up. For this one, I always pick, I think you should eat your vegetables. I think the bottom one, like, takes energy or something, so I never picked that one. I just take this one. It gives speed. Lucky 7 is not really good. So there's a lot of different, like, there's different kinds of skills, right? There's yellow skills, which tend to be, like, focused on your racer's speed and their running effectiveness. Then you have blue skills, which tend to be focused on their endurance, their stamina, stuff like that. Then you have red skills, which target the other racers and, like, decrease their stamina or slow them down or something. And then you have green skills, which are based on usually the track or the position you're in, the number that you are in the favorite, something like that that you don't have a whole lot of control over. So here, this one, Lucky 7, is when you're in bracket 7, which if I understand the brackets correctly, I believe that means racer number 13, 14, and 15? I don't remember exactly. Anyway, this skill is bad. I would almost never pick this skill because you have no control over what bracket you're starting in. You just essentially at the start of a race have like a 1 out of 8 chance of this working. Maybe it's a 1 out of like 5, which is not very good, right? It does. Usually these make, I don't know what make good things may happen. I don't know what that means. Most of them just say like your stats go up a little bit. But anyways, here we are back at this, and we kind of need to rest, so we need to pick up the pace. We've already been going for an hour. Usually I do the runs faster because I don't watch everything. Maybe we'll start skipping some of the less important races and stuff. I have no idea what we're just going to look this one up real quick. What is it? Riddles? Solving riddles? We could either get guts and skill points or a specific race course hint. Oh yeah, that's another one. The green skills can also be for specific race courses. Which, you know, in some circumstances can be good, but most of the time it's not going to be. So, like I said, guts sucks, but at least we get 15 skill points out of it, so I'll take the skill points. And we do have a rainbow training. It's not fantastic, however. I'm almost tempted to pick this one. 24 is a good amount, but you can get bigger numbers than 24. This one's also not bad. We do probably want to get above 200 stamina. Because although sprints are not super long, we do need a little bit. Actually, we're probably going to want like 400 stamina maybe just for the miles that we have to run, but 300 for the sprints is going to be ideal. Especially if we have that corner recovery skill. So I'm really tempted to do this one right now. But this is also really good. It's not fantastic, but it's really good. And this is also pretty good here. It sucks when you have a lot of good choices, right? I gotta go stamina. Stamina is still level 1. And then sometimes you just have random events like this, where something happens and we got 5 speed, and there was no decision to make. And those are usually dependent on like certain racers or certain cards. Which is why some racers are more annoying to play than others, because sometimes you have like negative events. Some racers have bad events. So it could feel really bad to like all of a sudden lose energy for no reason, or lose your mood, or get a migraine, and then you gotta go to the infirmary, and it's like, well, how'd you let this happen? So here you can see we got the director, or not the director, the reporter. When you train with the reporter, the director gives you skill points when you train with her. When you train with the reporter, she gives you more of whatever you just did. So when she's at blue, if I do a speed training, she's going to give me 2 more speed at the end of it. And then as you level her up, that gets a little bit better. I believe when you have her maxed out, it gives up to 5 more points, which is not a lot, but it's a little bit. What do we even want to do here? I'm not 100% sure. The speed training is not that good. Probably the power training, just so we can get a little bit more on the reporter. The reporter has like a break point where you want to have her at green already, so I kind of just try and get it out of the way as soon as possible. But it's not till April on year 3 that we need to worry about that. But like, I don't really have any other good choices, so I think I'm just gonna do it anyways. So we're pretty much out of energy. When you're low on energy, you could click on here and go like, is there anything that I'm really gonna like gamble on? But a lot of times I like to just click the rest button when I know I have to click the rest button so I don't tempt myself to do something stupid. So usually here I would just click rest, not even look at the training options. And we actually got a well rested there, which means we got up to 70 energy, which was only 64 in this case because we weren't missing enough. But well rested is the ideal one to get you as much energy back as possible. What do we got? Ooh, decent stamina one. I think we just go for the 200 stamina right now because we got no one on speed. We got two turns till the next race. Hopefully, maybe next turn we can do some speed. See, here's just a random event. She just lost 10 energy and her mood went down. Like that. She was concerned about her rival or something. So that's where this becomes more of a roguelike. Where just random stuff can happen that can hurt or benefit you. Really? I really wanted to go speed, but it's not great. Another option is we could go recreation to get our mood up. But with Kita-san Black in the deck, it's usually when her mood is at least good, I don't touch the recreation button at all. If her mood is great, obviously there's no reason to touch the button. The only time is when she gets to normal or lower is when I actually look at the recreation button, so I wouldn't worry about it. It's likely that we'll get a random event that will get her mood up. For this next race, though, we will have slightly lower stats because our mood is only good and not great. Okay, never mind. Immediately punished. Her mood just randomly went down again, so I guess we're running this race at normal. So, before I do anything with skills, I always like to look at the race first. It's a sprint. We should probably win it. We're probably the #1 favorite. Might be time to just grab this corner recovery, though. And then after that corner recovery, we're probably just going for Corner Adept, which goes into Professor of Curvature. Professor of Curvature is a really good skill. I could save up for this, but we're going to need this corner recovery anyways for the mile that's coming out next time. So I think I'm just going to pick it now. And then that's probably the only stamina skill we're going to get the entire run because she only runs sprints and miles, so. And then, like I said, we're going to pick up the pace a little bit. I think we're just going to skip the races until we get to, like, some actually important races. Another thing that I didn't explain earlier is these choices here. You can see how many people are doing each thing. So there's 2 people on End Chaser, there's 11 people on Late, and there's 3 people on Pace. Or Pace Chaser, End Closer, Late Racer. It says it right here, right? Late Surger, that's what it is. End Closer, Late Surger, Pace Chaser, Front Runner. There's no one doing front runner except for me. We're going to go with that one. Like I said, some of those green skills can affect, like, oh, you want to be in the same group with 5 other people, then you'd want to be a late surger for it. But if your character can't do late surger, then that skill becomes useless. So, you know, we're just going to go ahead and hit view results right here. We're the #1 favorite. We got second. So even with #1 favorite, we ended up being a next length behind. We lost to the #2 favorite, which is actually a main character, Taiki Shuttle. King Halo's a main character. Hishi Amazon's a main character. Biwa Hayahide is a main character. Grass Wonder is a main character, but she got dead last. By a lot, too. She was 10 lengths behind 16th place. I don't know what she was doing in this race. Obviously, she didn't have the affinities for it, but she decided to run it anyways. So, unlucky. The bad thing about getting second, we don't lose the campaign because all we had to do was get top 5. We do get to continue, but the bad thing is we get less fans. You saw that this race was gonna give... maybe we can go back and look at it. I don't remember, but you don't get the total number of fans if you don't get first. And the good thing about getting first is the further you're ahead in first, you even get extra fans for it. So it could be kind of bad to not get first places. We do still get stats for accomplishing our next goal, which was getting top 5 in that race. And now our next goal is just to run in this race. We don't even have to place in it. I think this is the first mile race. Ideally, we would still like to place. Because, as I said before, the races do require you to have a certain number of fans. So, like, this race here requires 15,000 fans, which we don't have yet. If we do really poorly in these next 2 races and don't get to 15,000 fans, then I have to run an extra race to actually get to 15,000 fans. And that is a turn that we could have spent doing something else, right? So we do actually have enough energy to maybe fit in a training here. I might just go... this is tough. The 1% failure on the stamina, but it's only 10 points of stamina. I could also... I'm thinking I maybe just press the recreation button here, because recreation can give you some energy back. And that rainbow training was not that great, so I think I'm just going to press the recreation button. We did get 10 energy, and we got our mood up by 1. Here we got... let me see if I can guess what this one does. Eating crab, that's going to give back energy, probably. It's easy to do with the right tools. That's going to give skill points. Alright, let's see how I did. We're going to go pull up the tool. We'll let you see, too. Whoa, oh, I forgot what the event was called. Together with someone important. Okay, we look for together with someone important. The top one gives guts. That's not what I thought at all. And then speed and stamina. Completely wrong. See, this is why... this is why I sometimes like to use the tool. Because if you just guess and you don't actually know what the event gives, sometimes you get, like, a terrible result that you didn't want. Like, I would have picked that if that was energy, but I guess we're going speed and stamina because guts is useless. Alright, so now our mood's back to good, so we can get a little bit better training going in. Not a lot of good options, huh? So I think we just slam the speed button just to try and level up the speed training zone. And now we probably have to rest. On turns that you have to rest, it always sucks to, like, see a rainbow in the training, because you're like, no, I have to avoid the rainbow. Luckily here, no rainbows. Ooh, we got fully rested. Okay, New Year's resolution. Everyone has a New Year's resolution. And then on the next New Year, they also have another thing. All of them do the same thing, except I think the stat might be different. But they're also like to shuffle the answers around for each character. It's always the same. Like, Sakura is always going to have all the answers in the same order. But each character might have the answers in a slightly different order. But usually skills are always at the bottom. So why don't you tell me what you want to do is probably skills. Rest up fully is probably energy, but we're full energy, so that's useless. Action towards a brighter future is probably stats, which is probably just speed. So it's like, do we want skill points or do we want speed? We do have a really good skill, but we're probably going to get it in due time. I think we just want the stats. Let's see if I guessed correctly. It was speed, so I did guess correctly. Why do I want to avoid rainbows? I don't want to avoid rainbows. It's just that rainbow wasn't particularly good. And I needed recreation, so I went with recreation on that turn. If you're talking about the turn where I had to rest, I was like, oh no, I don't want to see a rainbow here when I have to rest because I can't click on the rainbow anyways, right? So it just feels bad to miss out and, like, know what you're missing out on, right? FOMO or whatever it's called. If you know what you're missing out on, it's worse than if you don't know. Anyways, next training. Probably just going speed here. Not a whole lot of great options. And we still got nothing special going on. What do we got? Okay, so this year, we did just start the year. We're still in January. We do need to make sure that we get the director up to green pretty much before this year ends. But we're already pretty close. It's probably like 2 trainings till we get there, so I think we just keep slamming speed. The other reason why Sakura's campaign is so easy is you could pretty much win by just slamming speed a lot. Okay, this event is really good. I think the top one does something okay. The bottom one, you tank a mood loss to get a special skill that there's not very many ways to get this skill. It's a green skill. Like I said, the green skills are kind of wild cards, except this one is very interesting. So we tank the mood down, but we get a skill called Lone Wolf. Now, Lone Wolf is a super cheap skill, only costs 63, and it increases performance when no other runners have Heart of a Lone Wolf. That just means when no one else has Lone Wolf. So generally, this is one of the best career skills, because in career, almost no one uses the Lone Wolf skill. Now, outside of career in like PvP, there's probably going to be people running this, so it won't be as good there, but you can also use it to turn off their Lone Wolf, right? But in career, this is just a really good skill because it's just going to make your stats better, and it's really cheap. We won't buy it right now. I only buy skills on the day of a race, but that's probably going to be the next thing that we buy because it's cheap and is very good. So this kind of sucks. I do really want to click Recreation here because we're only normal mood, but I think this is too good to pass up because we can get the friendship training and get Twin Turbo up, and we also get a skill from Twin Turbo here. So we just got to go with that one. We get Moxie. I don't think Moxie does anything for us. Okay, Speed Training Ground has now been leveled up. Her mood just went down again, but she did get energy. Does Moxie do anything for us? Moxie is for front runners. If you're curious about this on and uphill, most of the courses have an uphill. I don't really know, like it must just be a horse racing thing because I couldn't have told you this, but I think every single course has a downhill and an uphill, depending on like what part you are in the run. So most of like these skills generally do go off because almost every course has an uphill. So this is not bad by any means. If we find that we need another stamina skill, that would probably be the one that I pick. But right now we're going for these. So we're in a really bad spot. I can't really train here because our mood is bad, so I kind of gotta click Recreation. And we're even low on energy. Okay, we only got to normal. That's not great news. What do we got here? I don't know what either of these do, so I'm gonna go look it up. What is it called? Hold on, I'll look at your message in a second. Okay, we either get Wisdom or Stamina and Guts. Both are not particularly good. Is Speed the best? It depends on what you mean by best. For this character, you can win the career by just clicking Speed, essentially. Speed is how fast your character can go. However, the reason that she can only click Speed for an entire career and win, I think I'm gonna go with... give me the 5 Stamina, that's fine. The Guts is useless, but... if you have a whole bunch of speed and you don't have enough stamina to do the race, you will lose. But it doesn't matter if you're on a character like Sakura, who's only running sprints and miles. She is probably going to have enough stamina for all of them. So then the only thing that matters is speed. Speed is the best because it determines how fast you go, but it needs to be supplemented with enough stamina and enough power for whatever you're doing. The other thing about Sakura is she's a front runner, so she doesn't need power. Power is more important for the further back you are, so Pace Chaser, Late Surger, End Closer, you need more power because power is how quickly you can speed up at the end of the race to get to your full sprint, and how effective you are at overtaking people. So technically, yes, speed is the best stat, but it really depends on what character you're playing. I kind of want to click Recreation again here. Luckily, we have no one in speed, so I think I feel okay with just clicking Recreation again. Okay, we did get to Great. Oh my gosh, and then right after I click Recreation, we get a random event to get Mood. Okay, so here we can check what race we're about to do. We're about to do the mile. We just have to run in this one. We don't need to win, but I would still like to win. You can see here our stamina is low for a mile. Our guts is terrible, but guts doesn't really do anything. Our speed is good. Our power is good, but power isn't as necessary on front runners, and our wit's kind of low. Now, like I said earlier, we got Lone Wolf, so we're gonna go ahead and grab that one, because that one's gonna be good every single time. And we'll go into race. I'm gonna skip through this race, but I want to show the very beginning of this race. You can see here we're the number 3 favorite, and the only stat that we have that's good enough is speed. But I think we'll still win. Actually, it might be close, because this is a race that we're not supposed to win. So, like, some of the highly rated people, like Mihono Bourbon and Rice Shower, might be hard for us to beat. Especially Rice Shower, because she has a lot of stamina. I don't know if we can pass. Maybe we'll watch this race. This race might be interesting. We'll skip past this stuff. But you'll see right at the start, Lone Wolf is going to go off. So this is going to go off every single race, because no one else has Lone Wolf. Which is why this card, the Sweep Tosho card, is so good. Because it gives you access to this skill that's always good. So, it's... the beginning of the race is just going to be Sakura versus Mihono Bourbon the entire time. The corner recovery is big, because that should mean that we have enough stamina to run the whole race. And then we gotta watch out for Rice Shower. Rice Shower's right there. I feel like Rice Shower is the most likely to win, but we might be able to pull it out. Okay, we did activate our skill because we are battling with Mihono Bourbon, so that's kind of good. Usually we don't get our ultimate off because there's no one battling us, but in this case, Mihono Bourbon is another good front runner, so if we could get a little bit further ahead and proc the view from the lead is mine, although Taiki Shuttle is about to pass everyone, that seems bad. Okay, she slowed down a little bit. Nope, she might catch us. I think we're okay, but just barely. Okay, never mind. We're pulling away. Our speed is too high. So that's where our speed kicked in. At the end, you saw that everyone got up to their top speed, but our top speed was higher than theirs. Now, if they had passed us, it might have been a bad thing. There's a potential that we lose that if Mihono Bourbon or Taiki Shuttle passes us there. Oh, we were 2.5 lengths ahead. We get 9,000 fans. So I think that means we have enough fans for the campaign already. Although we do want to think about fans a little bit here coming up. And I don't know the sprinter and mile races too well. I know more the medium and long races. So I might need to take a look at the races real quick to see what we can do. Because we want to get to 60,000 fans before the end of this year, preferably. So here's inspiration. Like I said, part of the way through the campaign, you get inspiration from your legacy horses again. So in this case, we got a whole bunch of speed because we picked a horse that had 9 speed sparks. We got a decent amount of stamina, so that should supplement us not really having to grab stamina too much. And we got Fighter. I don't even know what Fighter is. I've never even heard of Fighter before. So why don't we take a look at what this is. Fighter is a late surger ability. We are not a late surger, so we are going to ignore that ability. I don't know. Who got the Fighter? Who has this? Here, from Grass Wonder. That's not my horse. So it gave us a random ability that we're never going to use, but whatever. It also gave us 5 hints for it, which is really funny. I think 5 is the max, right? Because here we have 1 hint gives 10% off. Here we have 3 hints gives 30% off. Yeah, 5 hints gives 40% off. You get diminishing returns after 3. I think it goes 4 is 40 or 35%, and then 5 is 40% off. But anyways, yeah, that skill's useless to us. So, next race that we're running. This race sucks. It doesn't even give a lot of fans. It's a G3. It's a sprint, so I'm pretty sure we already got the stats to win it. What else are we running? Hold on. Late September, we're running this. This has a good number of fans. And then that's all that we're running this year. So with that, we're probably not going to get to 60,000 fans. And you want to make sure you get, I say the end of the year, but you really want the 60,000 fans before February of senior year. So right now we're in Classic. The first year is called Junior. The second year is called Classic. The third year is called Senior. So in our Classic year here, like I said, I need to check some of these races because I don't actually know all the... Ooh, we have a G... I've already won this race. We could run that. That's a good number of fans. But I don't actually know the mile and sprinter good races to run. So let's see what they are. Here we got another good one, the NHK Mile. Early May. Okay, so these are like decent medium races. At least the Japanese Derby is. Japanese Oak's not so good. Okay, we're running on this day anyways, so we couldn't run either of those races if we wanted to. Here's another one, the Yasuda Keenan. That one's better than the mile one, the NHK Mile. So the cool thing here when you're looking through all the races, say you find one and you're like, yeah, we want to make sure we run that one. Because on race days, like, you're forced to race, right? But you can also schedule a race. So I could be like, yeah, I'll run this Yasuda Keenan. Now, when I get to that day, it's going to tell me, like, hey, you got a race scheduled. Do you want to do that race or do you want to do something else? Like, it'll remind you that you scheduled something. So this is going to be a good one to get us a good number of fans. That race we can't run, so not worried about that. A lot of the G3 races, like, I don't have the trophies for them, but like I said, I don't really want to run a whole bunch of G3 races in a campaign, so we're probably just the one G3 race that I ran early on. It's probably our one. And maybe next run we'll do another one, but a lot of these races suck. Could run this. I don't have the trophy for it yet, but it is a G2. Okay, we're running this race anyways, so don't worry about that one. And I'll show you the big races that are really important to most people's campaigns. However, we're not going to be able to run them in this campaign. So, it is late October, late November, late December are the big races. And that is okay, it's at the bottom because we don't have enough fans. The Tenno Show Autumn can give you 20,000 fans. This one's the worst of the three, but ideally you run and win all three because it's what's called winning the Triple Crown. And you get, like, special rewards at the end of the race for winning the Triple Crown. So, if possible, you would like to run the Tenno Show Autumn as well, even though it's the worst one. Then, do we have anything that we can run, though? Not really. We got nothing here. So here is where we could run this mile. I'm noticing that there's a severe lack of sprint races that are worth a whole lot of fans, huh? So here's the second, probably the best one out of the bunch, the Japan Cup. If you can only run one of them, the Japan Cup is the best one. Because it's easier than the Arima Keenan, which is the last one. But it gives 30,000 fans. It does require you to have 25,000. But it's a good turf race. It's medium. Late November. If you can only run one medium one optional medium race, this one's a great one to do because you can get up like 30,000 fans and more if you get first place. So that one's a great one. The second race of the Triple Crown. Do we have any good races here? Not really. Okay, so here we could run this. Here's the last one, the Arima Keenan. It is a long race, so it's going to probably be the hardest. You're going to require the most stamina to actually win it. It's at the end of December. It's, again, going to give you another 30,000 fans. And these are the big 3 races that if you could do them, it will help you hit that 60,000 fans by February of next year. And then you actually do want 70,000 fans by April. So, like, in this case, we do have a race in March. And this race is going to give us at least 10,000 fans if we win. So that could supplement it. But if you don't have a race in between February and April, then you want to make sure that maybe you're even at above 70,000 before the end of this year. And that's going to be important because at the beginning of April, if you have the director's friendship at green or higher and you have 70,000 fans, it's going to level up your ultimate. The other one at the beginning of February, if you have at least 60,000 fans, it's going to level up your ultimate. So these are kind of like the breakpoints to know for those. Yeah, we scheduled the one race. Is it good at... Which one was it? The NHK Mile? Also do that one. I don't think we're going to have enough... Like, I kind of think I need to run the Oka show as well. Thinking we're not gonna have it. Wait, no, I didn't schedule the NHK Mile. Maybe we run the NHK Mile and the Yasuda Keenan. Because we don't have those like 30,000 bomb races to give you a whole bunch of fans, so we kind of need to pick a few. But again, Sakura's not that important to actually get her ultimate up. You could probably win without that. It's just for, like, the extra points. Maybe we will run. No, I'm just going to run one. We'll see where we're at. Maybe we could pick a later one, because there was another decent mile later on in the year. What are we doing here? Nothing great, so we might just go Wit to get the director up into green and maybe get Twin Turbo to orange. Okay, sometimes this can happen, which is you get a support card that is not one of the support cards you brought. Completely random chance, completely random card. When this happens, I've never even seen this card in my entire life. I don't know what either of these options mean. I just go look it up. So how do I figure out what card this is even? I think it's Smart Falcon, because Smart Falcon is talking and that kind of looks like her. We'll go look up this card real quick, because I have no idea what this card does. I guess I could show it. Boom. So if you get a card and you don't know what the heck it does, you could go up to database here. I'll open up another tab with the support database. And then pretty sure it's Smart Falcon. Yeah, there. But if you can't figure it out, you could just kind of look at the pictures until you see one that looks like the same picture. And then let's scroll all the way down here. What's the event called? It's called Always on Stage. Right there. Okay, what does this do? Event chain ended. Yeah, I don't think I care about the event chain ending, considering I don't have this support card in my deck. So we're probably just going to take that 25 energy and be happy with it, huh? Yep. So that seemed like pretty lucky to just get random 25. Oh, I wasn't even showing that we got the 25 energy. There, you can see it now. Anyways, I'm just going to close that because that card's probably never going to come up again. That's the first time I've ever seen that card come up, so I wouldn't expect to have it happen again. But anyways, yeah, we did get the 25. We also got Focus. I don't know what Focus does. Probably not a useful skill for us. Slightly. I guess slow starts do hurt frontrunners the most, probably, out of anyone. So that's kind of a luxury skill, though. If we get later on in the campaign and we don't know what to spend our points on, we can get that. Got no rainbows. Might just go that power to get twin turbo to orange. Oh my god, the director is like 1 point away from green. I could just do this. So we could use a few more points of stamina here and there. I don't remember what either of these do. I just know I always pick this top one. Oh, right, because what they give is it gives frenzied front runners, and I think the other one is like, the other one also gives a frenzy skill, but it's not as good or something. So now we have the option to frenzy front runners, which I did look it up. I'm pretty sure if you're a front runner, it does not affect you, because otherwise that would be kind of lame if you just like messed yourself up. Either way, it's not the greatest skill in the world, but it's okay. We'd probably rather have fluster front runners than frenzied front runners. We do have a rainbow now, and it's in speed. Big speed, 30. That's a lot of people in stamina, but I think I gotta go for the speed here, because we are doing a Sakura Bakushin campaign. Medium corners is going to be completely useless to us. This one, the second option is a gamble. It's either good or bad, so I always just take the top option because it doesn't have a negative. Alright, so the Aoi Stakes. We will probably be winning this race. We already spent, or we don't have skill points anyways, so we're just gonna go ahead, probably skip the race. We're hoping for first places because we want to get as many fans as possible. And also, at this end screen, you can see that we got 3 of every single stat. Depending on where you place is how many of those stats you get. So if you get second, you get 2. If you get third, you get 1. Okay, so here's the other important thing to remember about campaigns is July on year 2 and year 3 is summer vacation. What do you need to know about summer vacation? Make sure you have full energy when summer vacation starts. That's what you gotta know. If you have a race like late June, then you gotta make sure early June you're resting. We do have a race scheduled today that I scheduled, so we'll probably run this race and then we'll rest next turn to make sure we get to full energy for summer vacation. So what summer vacation is going to do is it's going to be training, but every single training node is going to be level 5, which is the highest level. So they're all going to be better than the nodes that you currently have available to you. How are we doing on this race? A bit outclassed because I don't have guts. I somehow don't believe you. Do we have enough for corner adept yet? No. So we'll just run it. I would expect to win this one, but the game seems to think I'm outclassed. We're the 7th favorite as well. I guess it is a G1 race and we don't have that many fans, so it kind of makes sense. And we do win. How much did we win by? Only 2.5 lengths. That's fine. We get 21,000 fans. This was like a... This was the one that gave 13,000, I think, right? So you could see the more you win by, we won by the 2.5 lengths. We got like an extra 8,000 fans. And also there's each of the support cards you have multipliers on them for your fans. So we got some extra fans for getting like first and being a certain distance ahead. And then that all got multiplied by our fan multiplier from our supports. Okay, here's an interesting one. Now that we're running G1 races, we have these options, which everyone gets on victory. You also get them on 2nd through 5th, and I think you get them for 5th and lower. Essentially what it is they cost energy, which really sucks. I So I always pick the second option because the first option costs 15 energy. Like if you get first, it's worse if you get second. So it kind of sucks to get second in these. But it costs 15 energy and gives you some skill points. The second option is a gamble between costing 5 energy and giving you skill points, or costing 20 energy and giving you skill points. So the odds of coming out better on this one than the top one is slightly better. Whereas if you get second, it's better to pick the first option because it costs you like 20 energy, whereas the bottom either costs 10 or 30. So I always go for this, just hoping for 5. If we hit a 20, that sucks, but I think it's a 50% chance, so we got the 5. And then here, I don't remember what this bottom one does. I just always pick I Respect Her. Gives you some stamina. Okay, we do have a rainbow training. Like I said, not even going to look because I know I have to rest, so I don't want to feel bad about whatever I'm missing out on. And we have to rest because summer vacation is coming up, and summer vacation is the best training in the game. So now we got full stamina pretty much. We might be like 1 point off or something. So the interesting thing about summer vacation is rest now turns to rest and recreation. So you do get mood and energy out of it. But the training is so good, because they're all level 5, that you really don't want to be doing the rest and recreation. Usually, because you can't just do... Like here, let's look at this power one, right? I can't just do 4 power trainings and get away with that, right? I will probably fail. So somewhere in there, we're going to want to try and fit in a wit. Wit day 1 is the worst, because then you can't get the energy back. All of these kind of suck, which is odd. I might use this as my chance to get a little bit of stamina, because of level 5 stamina node. Okay, we got a rainbow. It is on stamina, which is ironic. Wouldn't be a bad time to go for wit. The stamina might be too good to pass up. Because it would get us to that 300. Like I said, we probably only need 400, but the 300 will carry us for a while. But you do really want to fit in a wit there. So if I fit in a wit, then that means I can do 2... So summer vacation lasts 4 turns, I guess, is an important factor. So if you fit in 1 wit, then that means you can probably do 4 turns of training. Especially if you fit in the wit after after turn 1. The stamina one is good. I could go wit. I think we could get bigger numbers. Possibly. No rainbow. You know, it's just a game of chance. In this case, we kind of lost out on the chance. I think I should have gone the stamina. Now we have no good options. I might just go the speed because it's a big number. Calm in a crowd is completely useless to us. Okay, I'm pretty sure this one gives guts, so I just always take the top one because it gives power. And everyone has a summer camp year 2 training thing. For sure this just gives power. Power is going to be more useful than guts. And again, no rainbow. So we pretty much got as unlucky as possible. And I kind of got burned for not taking that stamina. I think I'm going to take this stamina now. That was a bad summer vacation. You do get points at the end of summer vacation. I don't know what either of these events do, so I'm just going to look it up real quick. Ooh, okay, this is one of these interesting events. I do like to gamble on this event. So the top one, like the event is good. The top one gives 10 energy. The bottom one is a gamble. It either gives you 30 energy and like some skill points, or it gives you 30 energy, some skill points, and you get slow metabolism as an affliction, I guess. Slow metabolism is really bad, and you pretty much have to go to the infirmary until you get rid of slow metabolism, because what slow metabolism does is it makes it so you can't get speed anymore at all. Or you can't train for speed. You could get it from other sources, but training is your main way to get it anyways. I like to gamble, especially when we're low on energy, because 30 energy is so much. And I think... I don't actually know how this event works, if it's a 50-50 or not. But I tend to win more often than I lose. So, let's go for it. Okay, we won. Even though she looked sad and I thought that was bad, but I guess we won. So, we get like a free turn of training. This would have been a rest turn, but ended up paying off. Okay, we do have the director at green already. Why are my trainings sucking so much? Might just be a speed or a stamina here, huh? Don't really need that because Twin Turbo's already at orange and the director's already at green. We don't really need more power anyways. The width's an option, but... the speed is maybe the best, but I think I just picked the stamina because it's a rainbow. Is above that 300. Especially because we're going to be running multiple miles now, I think. This one's a sprint, right? But if we want to run the optional ones around here... okay, so we want to get to 60 at least, which if we win this, we should get to 60. And then... probably with this other race in March, we should get to 70. So maybe I won't even run that extra race. We do finally have enough for Corner Adept. We're going to go ahead and pick that one. And then what are they saying? They say our power's low, but everything else is... well, Guts is also bad, but... I think it should be a win. I'm going to start the race and just let the beginning of it play because I'm going to go fill up my water. I'm fairly confident we'll win, but I'll let you guys watch the race while I fill up my water. Oh, we are number 2 favorite. Who's number 1 favorite? Maruzinski's number 3. Oh, and Nishino Flower. I don't really know anything about this lady because she's a main character, but she's not in the game right now. And I feel like she never wins. So, I don't know. I'll be right back.
今スタートが切られました。各馬娘綺麗なスタートを切りました。
これは位置取りが熾烈になりそうですね。
先行争いはマルゼンスキー、桜爆心号、エルコンドルパサー、期待通りの結果を出せるか。一番人気西のフラワー。先頭集団を見ていきましょう。先頭を行ったのは桜爆心号、続きましたマルゼンスキー。激しい先頭争い。1番、3番手。そしてその外から行ったのは9番。1馬身離れてエルコンドルパサー。内にはオグリーキャップ、西のフラワー。
Alright, I have returned. I see our corner adept went off. We're in front. There's our quarter recovery, so we got enough stamina to finish probably. Okay, you can see Nishino Flower. She's the really short one back there. Okay, the view from the lead is mine. I think that means that we'll win. Okay, she did get second. But we still easily win. How many fans did we get? 21,000. Okay, that's perfect. We're right before 70,000, so the next race should easily get us above 70. So I think that means we don't need to do any extra races. And that one we got to place top 3 in anyways, so even if we got 3rd, we'd probably get enough fans. Okay, I shouldn't have clicked on this because it's the best speed training we've had the entire campaign. And I have to say no. This is why you don't click on it if you know you have to rest. Because now it feels really bad. Like, now you're like, in your head, like, oh, I could definitely win a 78% chance, right? No, I'm not doing that. I know I know how nice it would be to get that, but... And she got sleep deprived. Okay, she didn't actually get the negative. Sleep deprived has a chance to give you Night Owl, which takes energy from you every single turn and lowers your mood and forces you to go to the infirmary until you fix it. So it's terrible. This one I always take the bottom one because I think it gives you energy back. Okay. We got another rainbow. It's not as good as the last one. They're trying to rub it in my face, but we're still gonna take it. We need to get our speed up. Preferably, it's probably not gonna happen. I don't think it can physically happen that we get the speed training facility up to level 5 before the end of the year, but we can get close. See, but I can win a 97% chance. I'll take that. Trainer's Handbook. Shouldn't have clicked that again because then I'm just going to feel bad about what's there. We just rest. Ooh, we got the big energy recovery. I don't know what the bottom one does, but I always pick the top. Oh, the top one like gives you max energy or something, right? No. Okay, I got it wrong, but that was still the option I always pick, so... There's probably a reason I always pick that option. Probably go for the rainbow stamina here. Just because the speed one kind of is lame, with only the director there. That'll be a good little progress towards getting us... we just now got stamina to level 2. That'll be good to getting us towards that 400 stamina mark, which is probably where we're going to stop on stamina. Okay, well... I guess we're just going to wit. Because everyone's here at wit. It's not that good anymore to go wit. Because we already have these friendships at orange or higher. The nice nature one doesn't really matter that much for me. The director's already at green. But what we're getting is essentially a free turn of training by getting the energy back and stuff. Getting a little bit more wit so our skills pop more often. Okay, so here's the second New Year, which very similar to the first New Year. There's an option that gives you, I think on the second New Year, the option that gives stats gives all stats, and it gives 5 of every stat. I assume this one's skills, because it's skill. The bottom one's almost always skills, and it's talking about weapons. Become the ultimate model is probably all the stats, and become super healthy is energy, probably. Now, if I remember correctly, it's either 20 or 30 energy. I don't remember. Why don't I look it up? Because it kind of matters right now. We'll swap over. So the New Year's Shrine visit, it is 30 energy. So I think we're only missing like 15 energy right now. Which makes it so we're either getting 15 energy or 5. I usually don't get the skill points from this unless I feel the need to. We got to make a tough decision here, right? Like, we're burning a lot of energy if I pick that top one. I could just go 5 in all stats. But 5 in all stats is not that great. I think I go 15 energy. Honestly, like, that's almost an entire turn. It's only 14, but it's almost an entire turn of training. It's got to be worth it, right? Okay, we got rainbow speed. It's just probably the rainbow speed, honestly. Okay, speed level 4. Ooh, the raffle. Oh, we got tissues. Oh, no. Right, if you lose the raffle, your mood goes down. The raffle's really good, because the chances that you win are actually pretty high, and it just gives you various amounts of energy back, depending on how good you win. Okay, so we have enough fans for February here. I think we just gotta click speed. Like, nothing else is really worth it. Now we're just trying to essentially get our speed up to 1200 is the goal. Okay, so February is Valentine's Day. If you have at least 60,000 fans, then your ultimate gets leveled up. I don't actually know the numbers. Oh, I guess it doesn't show that it's leveled up here. Under full stats, skills, you can see you'll have a level 2 ultimate. I don't actually know what the numbers are. If you have an ultimate that goes off a lot, obviously it's going to be better. Our ultimate is not going off that much, but we might as well try and hit those milestones anyways. And fans are going to give you other rewards at the end of the run, so it's good to at least try and hit those fan milestones if you can. We got really nothing going for speed here. Stam kind of sucks. I might just go wit, because it's rainbow. It'll give us above 300 wit. I think we want to maybe end on like 400, but since we have wit cards, we might be able to end higher. But might as well get that energy back. Okay, extra training. I always pick the bottom one to get me energy back. Speed. Okay, well, we got Akita-san rainbow training, so I guess we just take that. And you can see, like, with the wit and the 5 extra we got from the random extra training event, we now can eke out another training, and it's only going to have really low rate of failure, whereas it might have been like 8 to 10%. Now it's going to be like 2 to 3%. What skill did we just get? Front runner straightaways. It's actually okay for us because we are a front runner. We want to really get Professor of Curvature first, though. So we'll worry about it when we get there. Okay, what do we got? Ooh, it's still a 9%. Well, but imagine like that was a 15%, right? I'm never clicking a 15%, but I might click a 9%. I think I click it. Oh, no. It's 28 speed. I get that it's not that much because we're not getting... Okay, we got it. If the friendship, like if you have a rainbow training and the card appears, then you know you succeeded. Okay, again. Just rest. Don't overdo it. Okay, race day. We don't quite have enough, right? We're 12 points short. How much does that other skill cost? We just got... This one's really cheap, but it has 2 levels that you can get. I'm not going to do it. I maybe really should consider getting Moxie, because I feel like our stamina might be lower than I'm expecting. Let's go look at how they say we're doing. The stamina's fine at the moment, but again, we're in a sprint, not a mile. If we have to do another mile, we might want the... Wait, is the Moxie only for sprint, though? Or is it only for front runners? Moxie's for front runners, so it would work on miles. I really think we save up for this one anyways. I think we can win this race without getting anything new. This is a G1 race. Might be a little difficult. We're the number 2 favorite. I guess we are kind of low on stamina, huh? I should have gotten the Moxie in hindsight. I think we still win. We do win. It's this Nishino flower. She keeps ending up in second in all my races. Okay, so now we're above the 70,000 that we need before April, which will let us level up our ultimate again. I think, unless I mess it up. Is it the end of March or is it the beginning of April? Again, Sakura's ultimate is not a huge deal, but... Oh, we got a whole bunch of stuff, huh? Okay, we did get it. FanFest means that you got it. We also got Mood Up. Okay, so unfortunately, at the beginning of April, there's an event that goes off right after the Legacy Sparks. I like to look at what the Legacy Sparks actually gave. 70 speed, 23 stamina, 3 for Triumphant Pulse, which I don't think is relevant for us. Behold Thine Emperor's Divine Might is not relevant for us. I don't remember what Tether does, but I doubt it's good for us. It's on medium races only. And it also wouldn't even work for us because it only works if people are in front of us. So, we're not going to look at the rainbow training because obviously we need to rest and there's no way we could click the rainbow training button anyways. Should we plan ahead at all? How big are the races that we're going to run? That one's small. That one's small. That one's pretty small. I'm just looking at the fans. That one's big, for a sprint at least. And that one's kind of big. So we're not going to get very many fans, huh? Which kind of sucks, but we're running so many races, I don't really want to add in any more. Like, this is a lot of races to run in a year. 5 races? I don't really want to add any more. So I think I'm just going to let it roll like that. I mean, we'll probably win the campaign, but we might just not have that many fans at the end. Ooh. Our energy's not quite max. It's like 2 or 3 off. Maybe 4. It's always hard to tell because the curve. So we could maybe go wit. Speed's not that good here. We'd really just like a rainbow training on speed. Sure, let's get the nice nature to orange. Alright, now we got some speed. 28 speed. We're not getting like the huge numbers, but if we get lucky, maybe we'll get one. I don't know what the biggest speed training I've ever done is. It's at least 80. Okay, we did finally get to level 5, which is big, but now there's no one there. It's a bad one, huh? It just sucks all around. Part of me just wants to go speed anyways. So we get the extra 2 speed from her. It might even be 3 if she levels up from the first part of the training. Yeah, she did give us 3 because she went up to green. Okay, so this is unfortunate. This is where you could sometimes get caught off guard if you're not paying attention. We have a race late June, which means we can't rest late June. So we need to rest right now because for summer camp. Luckily, our rainbow training was not on speed, so I feel fine about just resting here. We get pretty much to full. Let's see, this is a G3 race. It should be easy. So we are going to grab what I've been waiting for, the Professor of Curvature. And then what are we going for next? I think we might want to get Moxie. Because it does feel like maybe our stamina is slightly low. With Moxie and corner recovery, we should be perfectly fine. Even for the miles. But I think there's only like 1 more mile or something, right? And there is something to be said, like, I know we only need 400 stamina, but there is something to be said for getting above 600 stamina because it'll increase our sparks at the end. And we're almost certainly going to get to... Okay, we got 2 races in a row. We actually have to race on the first day of summer camp, huh? A little bit unfortunate, but... I guess that's just how her campaign works. I don't remember it because it's been at least a week and a half since I did a campaign with her. How long is this race? It's a sprint. We should be fine.
注目の1番人気8番
Okay, we're at Platinum. I think there's almost no way we're going to get to Legend, but that's fine. I mean, I could go for it if I wanted to. I just don't really want to. Okay, now we're here. Seems like just speed. I mean, if we can at least make sure we get our power above 600. It's going to be a little bit hard for us to get stamina above 600. Ooh. It doesn't have the nice nature friendship. I think... Oh, actually, I don't think I have that unlocked yet. Nice nature does have the ability to give you more energy back on a friendship training. Stamina's tempting. I could go this one, though. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get 600 stamina. Alright, let's check. We are in a good spot. Do I still buy as Moxie? Or do I instead buy us a skill that makes us faster? Not medium corners. What was it? Front runners, straightaways. I think I just grabbed the Moxie. I don't see any way that we lose right now, because we already have so much speed. This is why it's kind of hard to lose as Sakura. Like, we've pretty much just been slamming the speed button. And we're just going to be like #1 favorite almost every single time. We might start being #1 favorite just because we don't have that many fans. But we're still probably going to win every single race. So this is the G2 race. Only gave us 10,000 fans. Okay, so now we have 2 G1 races coming up. Oh, apparently we have 0 turns until the next one. How are we doing on this one? Well, our power's a little bit low, and this is a G1 race, so why don't we go ahead and watch it now that we're at the big important races. So these last 2 races are just goals, but it is not the end of the career. There's still something we gotta do, and you can see we're #2 favorite. Okay, we'll just skip to the actual race. And you can see that lone wolf skill has really been going off throughout the entire campaign for us. So as a front runner, it's really important that none of the other front runners pass you. You pretty much want to be the fastest front runner, because otherwise you're going to run into problems. And here you can see that I think Marazinski is on front runner, but she's not able to keep up, and she's getting stuck now by other people. So she pretty much has no chance to win the race. Uh-oh, we're getting passed. Okay, we're ulting because we're actually fighting for the front. Okay. Our ultimate actually paid off there. I don't know if the Moxie helped at all, but it did go off. $20,000 more fans. Oh, good. We got a hint for Moxie, the skill that we just bought, so that does nothing. You can get that sometimes when you get random hints. They can be on skills that you already have purchased, which is unfortunate because then obviously the hint doesn't help you. So we do have a mile coming up, which is kind of the reason why I bought Moxie. Then why is my mouse getting stuck? There we go. So we're probably just going straightaways. Oh wait, that was Pace Chaser, wasn't it? Whatever the front runner one was. This one, front runner straightaways. Probably just gonna go that one when we get to the next race. And that's gonna be the last race for all of our goals. We pull this off. I kind of think I'd do it and then rest. Okay, we did go. We did make it. Okay, I'm gonna click it. Oh no, we made the wrong decision. 45. We traded 31 for 45. That's how it goes, I guess. Oh no, and now we got Night Owl too. That's a disaster, and her mood went down. Okay, so we might not get to max speed now because that's just like a random occurrence that I had no control over, and it is going to waste multiple turns. We gotta go to the infirmary first and get rid of Night Owl as fast as possible. The other thing is, the infirmary doesn't always cure the affliction. So there's a chance you might have to go to the infirmary multiple turns in a row. And the bad thing about Night Owl is it can proc like almost every single day and it just steals energy from you. It's really bad. So we gotta get rid of that as quickly as possible, which wasted a day of training. Okay, let us grab that, and we'll probably level it up again because it has a second rank. When we can. Well, I'm not so confident that we're actually... I think we'll be able to get above 1100 speed. So the breakpoints are 1100 and 600 to get the good sparks. I think we should be able to force 1100 speed. I don't know if we'll be able to even get 600 power now because of that missed turn, and our mood is only normal, so part of me also wants to recreation maybe. But if we win this race, our mood might go up. So we'll watch this one because it's the last race of her goals. Alright, we are in position number 2, which I feel like the close positions to the inside are really good for front runners. Because it's just less distance that you have to cover to get to the inside of the turns. We are having trouble passing Maruzensky here. And now we're kind of boxed in by 2 people. So this is kind of bad. We might actually lose this race. We're kind of stuck. Okay, Professor of Curvature. Corner Recovery. Okay, we're ulting already. We didn't get into first because we're stuck. We're boxed in. Oh, okay, we're passing. Okay, we got out of the box that we were in, but it wasted a lot of our skills. So I don't know if we might be able to win. It's going to be close. Okay, we're pulling away. The view from the lead is mine. I think that assures us the victory. Okay, that one was really close. So that's why you don't want to be not in first as a front runner, because we almost got stuck and lost. Because the thing about front runners is they don't need as much power, and power is what helps you get unstuck. So since we don't really have enough power to get unstuck, if we do get stuck, we just kind of lose. We almost got stuck there, but I guess like Ines Fujin ran out of stamina or something and let us out. Okay, so there's all of our goals accomplished. What do we got here? Not that great. This could just be a recreation turn. So now what we have is called the URA Finale, which is 3 races. The first one's a qualifier, then is the semifinal, and then is the finals. You have to get first place in all of them to win the URA Finale. And if you lose, then the campaign's over. There is a retry mechanic, though, so if that happens, we'll show how that works. But I think it's got to be recreation. Okay, we also got a lot of energy out of it. Usually you don't get that much energy, right? That was kind of crazy. 28 energy? Usually you get like 10. What do we got going on here? The Speed King. Let's just stick to observing. I don't know what either of these do, so I'm going to look it up. The Speed King. You get power and wisdom or stamina. Give me the stamina. Okay, so there's the last... I kind of forgot to talk about this one, but before late December, if you have at least 120,000 fans, then you will upgrade your ultimate the last time. So those are all 3. It's 60,000 by February, 70,000 by April with the director at Green Friendship, and then 120,000 fans by late December. And these are all senior year. Really, no friendship? This sucks. I guess we just go speed. We might not be able to get 600 power now. I feel like we're just getting unlucky with the rainbow trainings. Like we don't have it again. Okay, do we have we should have enough to get that second front runner straightaways. Okay, I won't show... So the first 2 races of the URA Finale usually aren't that big of a deal. Because you're racing... Like, the first one... I guess we could show, like, who's in it. Oh, our stamina's bad. But our stamina skills should make up for that. Usually you're not versing very many important people in the first one. You can click here for the runners. I guess this is a main character. This is not. This is a main character. Not. Oh. I hate that. Sometimes it just clicks on them. That's a main character. That's a main character. That's not. Oh my gosh. Not. That is. Not. That is. That's us. That's a main character. That's not. That's not. That's not. That's not. So like, a little bit less than half of them are main characters. And we are number 4 favorite. But I still think we'll probably just win. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm clicked on King Halo. I was like, why does it say number 5 favorite up there? You can look at the other racers' stats if you ever want to see, like, how they're looking and what their numbers are. And you can even see their skills and stuff, too. And then you can compare that to what you're at. But yeah, I think we should easily be able to win this race. There is like a random chance that we lose. So, we just gotta watch out for that. I think overall our racer's probably the strongest racer. And then after all of these races, you get like good chunks of points, which can kind of help you hit those last milestones before the end of your career. Which is kind of what I'm banking on to hopefully get enough power. I think we do a wit here. Yeah, we're actually not going to get 1200 speed on a Sakura Boxing run, huh? It's crazy. Maybe I should have run an extra speed card. So here's the semifinal, which I feel like will probably go about the same way. Actually, we're the number 3 favorite for this one, huh? We pull off the win. It's gonna be close. I don't think we'll quite get to top star. So there's a bunch more stats. Also, these give a whole bunch of skill points. So this is the last training we get to do for the entire run. It is a rainbow speed. It's not even that great. We're not going to get 600 power, but we will at least get... We're already guaranteed 1100 speed, though. But even the power training is giving us less power, so... kind of unfortunate. I'd say this run didn't go as well as I expected, but I think we're still going to win. So, we are, well, let's look at what they say, but again, the predictions late game are not that good in my opinion. Because like it says, we don't have guts, we don't have wit. Our wit might be a little bit low, but it's not like unbearably low. Our power is fine for where we're running from, which is front runner. Our stamina is fine with 2 stamina skills in a sprint. Our speed is great. No, it could be slightly better at this point, but... So we're just looking for any skill that actually makes us a little bit better. Long shot's not that bad, especially in these later races, just because you're probably going to not be in the top 3 favorites anyways. It might just be focus, though. We're not going to be surrounded, most likely, so that's bad. This one's okay as well, fast-paced. Could also get Fluster. Okay, all the other ones suck. So it's pretty much Fluster, fast-paced, or Focus. I think I'll just take Focus. And we will get more skill points after the last race, so we can buy like another skill as our career is ending to make our legacy horse. But anyways, we'll go ahead and watch this one because it's the finale. And then that'll probably wrap this one up. Well, I guess I'll explain what happens at the end after we actually win. Hopefully we win. I think we will, though. Our horse is in a pretty good spot. We'll skip the fanfare and just go straight to the race. So I don't know if proccing focus, because we didn't actually late start, so I don't know if it actually does anything, but if we did late start is really bad for front runners. So here's Maruzinski again, who's been kind of plaguing us the whole campaign, as early on we were beating her and now she's kind of beating us. But I think we should still be faster than her. But we were just on a further outside position. We're actually getting passed by this NPC horse here. But the NPC horse is making us so our ultimate goes off. We gotta not get boxed in here. This green horse is boxing us in. But I think we'll be able to speed up and then pass Maruzinski. And there's the win. So again, I kind of picked Sakura as the first run that we do just because it's hard to lose as her. We don't quite get to top star, but it's fine. So then at the end of the run, you get a whole bunch of skills, a whole bunch of points, and multiple people. Depending on how much friendship you got with people and stuff, it gives you more stuff. So I think we maxed out friendship with her. So she gives us her fan and a bunch of stats. And so here is the end of the race, or the end of the career, and you can look at your stats. We didn't hit the 600 power, mostly because of that unlucky stuff that happened at the very end there. We did get past the 1100 speed though, so there is a chance that we could get a 3-star speed spark. And then we do have some skill points that we can spend right now as well. We're probably looking at the skills I was talking about. Either the fast-paced or the fluster. I can't get both. I could get frenzied though, which is like a not as good version of flustered if I get fast-paced. I think if I go fast-paced and frenzy, it's not fantastic, but this horse is not gonna be like one of the greatest horses I've ever made, so it's not that important. But it is nice to just pick up stuff just in case she does get really good sparks. So how is it compared to my other Sakuras? Actually worse. I've had a better Sakura run. And we got guts. These sparks are terrible. We only got 3 of them. Usually you could get more than 3, but we got 3 1-stars. This is a terrible legacy horse. Won't be using this one. But yeah, here you could see the inspiration. Like if it was a legacy horse, it shows like we used this horse, which is actually kind of good, which would apply to the legacy, but then this one was not so good and this one's not so good, so we end up with a not so good legacy. And then that's actually my 3rd best Sakura run. I've had better ones. I feel like it really just fell apart at the end. We did 16 races, 15 wins. So here's the epithets part, which if you get to the like top or the legend, you get more epithets, which gives you points for the event, essentially. So that's the only reason why you would want to get more fans and stuff, is to actually accomplish more of the yellow, because the yellow epithets are the best ones. And the only one we did is win the finals, but there's a whole bunch of them you can get for like winning the Triple Crown, going undefeated. Did we just... We did good enough to go undefeated. I think you only need to have like an 85% win rate to go undefeated, but I don't think we did enough G1 races, because there's not that many G1 sprints. And I don't know what the major wins... I guess like we did both of the important miles, which are like the... I don't know which ones they are. Because it doesn't really... These are just like medals that I don't actually know because it doesn't describe to you what they are. And then you also get like friendship with the character. It adds to your total fans every single career. So I already had like 1.3 million fans and we just added 200,000 to them. And then here's the points that you get for... Oh no, this is just... gives you money and it levels up your support cards. Usually you just have all your support cards maxed, but this one I didn't really want to spend money to upgrade it, so I've just been leveling it up in the event. Then we got some money. And then here's the actual event progress. We got 22,000 points towards the event, which is okay. I could definitely get more if I were to run... what's her face? Majiro McQueen, because she also is a horse that has boosted event. And I could get a higher rating. This was kind of a bad rating, and we got low epithets. So we made a little bit of event progress there, and then you get some event currency. No reason to edit my team, because that horse was not better than the previous one. So yeah, that's kind of like an example of a run. Like I said, I picked Sakura as the first one just because she's easy and you almost always win. But I think we'll probably go on to a next one. But hopefully you enjoyed that one, and I will see you in the next one.